We've all seen the highlight reel catches from Davante Adams, right? But what if I told you the real secret to his greatness isn't just his hands, but what's going on up here, in his head? Yeah, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get inside the mind of a champion.
Okay, let's start with a number. 1,000. That's a huge deal, right? 1,000 career receptions. To put that in perspective, only 16 other guys in the history of the NFL have ever done that. It's an absolutely insane milestone. But here's the twist. For Davante Adams, that number, it doesn't really matter. It's just a byproduct of something way more important to him.
In this quote right here, this explains everything. He says, "I just kind of like to keep my head down and just keep working and see what happens when I'm done." You see, while we're all looking at the stat sheet, Adams is just focused on the work. His whole career is built on this one simple, powerful idea. Just put your head down, do the work, and everything else will fall into place.
So let's get into the man behind the stats. This whole head down thing, it's not new. It goes all the way back to college. You know, he wasn't one of those guys obsessing over mock drafts or his 40 time. He was just working. He literally said he just kind of looked up at the end of his last year and was like, oh, wow, 1,700 yards and 24 touchdowns. Cool. It's just never been about the numbers for him. It's always been about the craft.
All right, so where did he even develop that craft? I mean, his footwork is legendary. You might think he spent his whole life studying guys like Jerry Rice or Randy Moss, but the secret to how he moves, how he gets off the line of scrimmage, it actually comes from a totally different sport.
Yep, basketball players. Adams says a lot of his influence came from hoopers, which makes sense because he was actually kind of a late bloomer in football, didn't even start playing till his junior year of high school. Before that, his whole world was the basketball court, and you can see it, right? It's baked into his DNA as an athlete. And he's not just talking in generalities here. He gets super specific. He says he took Deron Williams' nasty crossover and built his releases off the line of scrimmage from that. And Allen Iverson? He says AI's Hessian crossover is, and I'm quoting here, basically exactly how I move. He literally sees the basketball court on the football field. And this is the best part. Remember that huge 1,000th catch we talked about? Adams said the move he used to get open on that play was, quote, straight out of AI's book. How cool is that? He used a basketball move inspired by Allen Iverson to make one of the biggest plays of his football career. That's incredible. Okay, so for most of his career, Davante Adams has been synonymous with winning, but a really challenging stint in Las Vegas. Well, that gave him a brand new appreciation for what it actually means to win a football game. So why the move to the Raiders in the first place? It was a really personal decision. It was a chance to team up with his old college QB, Derek Carr. For him, it was a dream come true, something he said he would have felt incomplete if he didn't at least try. But things in Vegas weren't always easy. I mean, coming from Green Bay, where winning was almost a given, he suddenly found himself in what he calls not as bright days. And going through that struggle, that experience of not winning consistently, it completely changed his perspective.
And this quote just says it all. There was this one game where he had, in his own words, the worst stat line of my career. But he came off that field literally laughing and smiling. Why? Because they won the game. That was the moment it clicked for him. The feeling of a team win completely overshadowed any personal stats.
All right, section 4, inside the Rams room. So he takes this whole new mindset with him to the Los Angeles Rams. And you'd think, as a veteran superstar, he's just there to lead. But he's actually found this new source of energy from the young guys in that locker room. I mean, here's this veteran superstar still learning. You walk into that receiver room, you expect him to be the old sage teaching all the young guns. But he says it's the other way around, too. Their energy is infectious, and it's pushing him. He's not just a mentor, he's getting inspired to be even better.
And he brings up Puka Nacua specifically. He says when he sees a young guy like Puka out there just crushing linebackers in the run game, it makes him check himself. It puts this onus on him, he says, to own his part of it too. It makes him want to bring that fire to blocking, to every single aspect of the game, not just the highlights.
And that energy, that culture, it really starts at the top. Let's hear in his own words what he thinks about the Rams' leadership, starting with his QB. When he talks about Matthew Stafford, he's just so cool, man. Not in a trying to be cool way. He's just himself, totally authentic. And that genuine, easygoing leadership, Adams says, makes it amazing to come to work with him every single day. And then there's his coach, Sean McVay. Adams says McVay has this incredible ability to empower everybody in the building. And he means everybody,
from the top guys down to the support staff. He makes you feel like you're one of the most important people there. That's how you build a culture where people genuinely love their job.
So, when you put all this together, it really boils down to one big question, right? After 1,000 catches, after all the awards, how does a guy at the absolute pinnacle of his sport stay great? The answer is right here, by never, ever stopping learning. See, for Davante Adams, greatness isn't a destination. It's a process. It's having the humility to steal moves from a basketball player. It's finding more joy in a team win than in your own stats. And it's letting the fire of a rookie push you to be even better. That's the mind of a champion.